Avera Mengistu is a special case. He's someone who with kind of wandering instincts, mental instability. He vanished from home one day at the age of 28 in 2014 and was never heard from again for years. Eventually, his family hired investigators privately. They found out that it appeared there were indications he may have walked into Gaza through some agricultural fields on the border, on the Israeli border. And it took years more for Hamas to confirm that it was holding him, that it had captured him once he crossed into Gaza. He's been in Gaza 11 years. Tal Shoham is a very different case, a 40-year-old tech worker from central Israel who took his family on a holiday weekend to the south of Israel on October 6th, 2023, and was caught up when Hamas invaded. His entire family was taken hostage. His wife and 2 daughters were separated from him, and they were released in November, at the end of November 2023, in that last hostage deal. Not much has been known about him either, though his family has kept up a very well-covered public struggle to get him back. There's a lot of relief for both families. I heard an interview with Avera Mengistu's dad earlier this morning who said, at least now we know he's alive. And that, I think, echoes the sentiment of many of these families.
And watching these pictures, it was a very swift moval from the Hamas vehicles into the Red Cross, no forcing them to make speeches and that kind of thing. Perhaps they've been coming under pressure over the previous releases and how they've been conducted.
They have been coming under immense pressure, especially after Thursday's spectacle with the 4 coffins that were said to have the entire Bibas family and another member of the kibbutz resident of the kibbutz of Nir Oz, a former journalist called Oded Lifshitz, who was also taken hostage and murdered. He was 84 years old. That spectacle, for some reason, with the coffins covered in black Hamas symbols, with the faces of the 2 little boys on these huge adult-sized coffins, something in that seems to have really clicked and caused what in Israel are called the mediating nations, principally Egypt and Qatar and the United States. The United States, we know, has put immense pressure on Qatar to press Hamas to resolve this, to get Shiri Bibas's her real remains back to Israel. That they did within 24 hours. And now we see that these ceremonies, which Hamas had perceived as very much in their favor, ceremonies that showed that they have survived Israel militarily, that they're still in charge, these ceremonies may have in the end backfired and are being seen now as an extended form of abuse, of Hamas continuing to abuse captives that it should never even have had in its possession.
Now, we've been watching the release of these 2 men. Do we have any news at this stage on the other 4?
What we know about the other 4 is that they're not going to be released from Rafah, and we expect it to take an hour, possibly even 2 hours. They're going to be released, I think, from Khan Yunis in central Gaza. And we haven't yet seen that stage being put up. So it's unclear. It could even take a few more hours. I don't know why these were separated into 2 different releases, but it's possible that Hamas had to scramble. These 6 men were supposed to have been released in 2 separate release dates, 3 today and 3 next Saturday, which is the formal end of phase 1. But fearing that Israel might not follow through to phase 2 and wanting to get the largest number of its prisoners back, Hamas offered to release all 6 Israelis in one swoop, in one day, and that's what we're seeing today. So maybe this kind of division of labor, to call it that, is a result of them making last-minute decisions.
Noga Tarnopolsky, thank you very much. And on that note, as you say, this is the first phase. Hamas just released a statement saying it's ready to move to a second phase of the Gaza ceasefire deal to carry out a comprehensive hostage prisoner exchange to achieve a permanent ceasefire and complete Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip.